Hello, everyone. My name is Samara Robertson, and I am the postpartum midwife. Welcome to my presentation on Postpartum University. I'm so excited to get into this presentation and tell you all about what Postpartum University is, why we need it, the issues that we have in our healthcare system, and that it's time for a change. And that's why we're here today, to be a part of the change, be a part of something new and innovative. So this is being recorded. If you have any questions, you can reach out to me personally at my Gmail account. You'll see it here and at the end of the presentation. I will use this for future presentations. This is meant to be informative. It does not encompass all issues in the postpartum period. I am a work in progress. I'm not a perfect human being. And I come from the perspective of a cisgender, white, heterosexual female here in the world. That's how I live my life. And I see it through a certain perspective. And it's important to understand that that's just one perspective in the postpartum period. And so a little bit about me. So my background, I'm a certified nurse midwife. I've been so since 2010. I'm an advanced practice registered nurse in the state of New Hampshire, Maine, New York, and Arizona. I've been an assistant faculty in online nursing education since 2011. I was recently a program director for a women's health nurse practitioner program where I learned an incredible amount. I'm a doctorate of nursing practice student, and I'm currently finishing up that degree somehow. I'm a former IBCLC, and I have a personal history of postpartum depression with my first and probably my second. I'm a mother of two amazing young girls who really are my motivation for making this change. And I'm surviving in a global pandemic just like you, just like all of us. We're trying to survive. We're putting one foot in front of the other in what are some insurmountable challenges. So I wanted to show some pictures so that you really got a sense of me, because I am someone who really thrives on stories and being vulnerable and just being honest in their experiences. And this is my first daughter, Adeline, and this is when Eloise was born, my two girls. And these both times were just really challenging. These were challenging times for me and my family. Adeline was born and, my life turned upside down, and I was not ready for the challenges, even with all the experience that I had as a midwife. I had seen thousands of deliveries. I had been a midwife for about a year at the time that I had Adeline, and I had no concept of what that next year of my life was going to be like. And it was hands down the hardest year that I had ever experienced I think I was 29 at the time. And this was when I had Eloise. And if I was really honest with myself, I was probably still in the throes of that identity shift, of that feeling of parenthood where there was no sleep. I had a very challenging toddler, and, we were in the throes of parenthood, and it was really hard. It was hard. And here are two pictures of me. This is when Adeline and Eloise, Addie was 2.5 years, and Eloise must be just bornish. And I think it's funny because I'm smiling in these photos, but I'm truly happy over here in this photo. We've really come a long way in this photo here, where this here is, I'm struggling. It was really hard. It was really hard. And that's why I'm doing what I do, so that my girls live in a world that's different when it comes to postpartum care and being a mother, and that they're supported. So it's one of my huge motivations. It's time we do healthcare differently. It is not working. And I'm going to talk to you about why, and you're going to see the numbers in this presentation, that what we're doing now is not working, and it's time we do it differently. If 2020 has taught us anything, it's that we need innovative solutions. We need to question the status quo. Postpartum University is where families come. They're supported with courses, community, and care. I believe that all women's choices need to be celebrated and supported. All choices. And when we shame women or we shun their ideas of parenthood, we erode their confidence in their abilities to be mothers and members of society that are healthy and powerful. And when women and families are empowered to advocate for their healthcare needs, we can improve the outcomes of the entire family. And that is the health of a society. Mental health, mental and maternal health are core tenets of the health of our society. And so if we go back to that stage, that postpartum period, and we invest in that period, the outcomes will be phenomenal. And I think it's really exciting if we think about the time and effort we put into that time period. And so let's go back. Let's talk about prenatal care in the United States. And let's like digest this a little bit, because during the prenatal period, women have 13 visits, 13 very specifically timed visits to ensure that their provider is managing and monitoring both the mom and baby, right? We have a very specific intervals. Those visits are scheduled in an office anywhere from 15 minutes, which is crazy, to some providers maybe 30. And we see our patients over and over again, but we're really focusing on the physical health in these visits, not the mental health. And even in the prenatal period, women need to be preparing for the postpartum ups and downs. So 13 visits over that 9-month period. Let's talk about the cost, because I think this will really come into play later on when we think about those 13 visits. And so the average cost in the US without complications, just really straightforward prenatal care, is $2,100 for those 13 visits. A vaginal delivery can range anywhere from 12 to 16,000, and a cesarean section anywhere from 20 to 24,000. Those are big numbers, right? And so the amount of money we're spending, we would think that our outcomes are really strong. And unfortunately, they're not. And that's what I want to talk about. The amount of money we spend on healthcare, yet the outcomes that we're getting in the United States are abysmal. And so I want you to know that this ranges based on state. This is from 2010, but to give you an idea, like, what are we investing in? What is the health of our society, the health of mothers, the health of babies? Newborn well care starts at delivery, and babies get 8 well visits throughout the first 18 months of their life. Again, they're timed visits specifically for physical needs, that we should see a baby growing or vaccinations. Like, our healthcare system has decided, and our insurance companies have decided, that this is the interval of newborn care, and it averages about $6,000 for those 18 months of care, right? And yes, insurance covers a majority of this, but I just wanted to get you an idea of like the cost that we're putting on healthcare. Preventative healthcare is what this should be, not complicated healthcare, nothing outside of the normal. 8 visits. And then we have our postpartum visit, which is 1 visit at 6 weeks postpartum. And this is just the 6-week mark. The reason for this is that is when your uterus should have fully involuted back into your pelvis, and where your physician or your midwife wants to make sure that the healing process that should happen at 6 weeks has happened, right? Not your mental health. Well, we're getting there. But this 1 visit, just 1, which is insane. If you've had a baby before, you know that up until that 6-week mark, you have so many questions. You're going through so many changes, you and your baby. This is 6 weeks too late. We are isolated, we are alone, we are questioning what we've been doing, and we need more help. And if you take that cost of prenatal care, this visit that our society and our health insurance and our everything has decided is worth about $150. I mean, just think about that. Your 1 visit in the postpartum period is about $150, which is about a 20-minute visit. Now, this isn't the fault of our physicians and our midwives. This is a system we live in. This is our healthcare system that unfortunately is very hard to change. But I want you to just wrap your head around that, right? The costs of your prenatal care, the cost of your vaginal delivery or C-section, and your newborn care, and what we've decided you are worth. It's crazy. So even in that 6-week visit, women already have an incredible amount of barriers to that 1 visit, whether it's feeling judged or having fear of what they're going to experience at that 6-week visit, feeling like their needs aren't included within their healthcare system or their office. We have the coronavirus now, which has really decreased the amount of 6-week postpartum visits women are even attending, and if those are even face-to-face. We have transportation issues. What do we do now if you have 2 other children and you have a 6-week postpartum visit that you have to go to yourself? You're not going to go. We have time constraints. We have the fact that there are fewer and fewer providers who are delivering providers in rural areas in the United States. So many barriers to what we have decided is a 1 6-week postpartum visit. But we know the postpartum period is an entire year process. a year process of mental and hormonal changes, of physical changes, of sleep deprivation, of identity readjustment. There is no single path to the postpartum period, and we know that these are fluctuations, these are ups and downs, but immense changes hormonally, physically, and our identity and how we are, as caretakers. And so I've sort of broken them up into these sections. Postpartum care starts prenatally. And unfortunately, in our healthcare system, we don't have preventative healthcare. We don't see that as important. And then we have our immediate postpartum period, which I say is really that 0 to 3 months. That is a very intense period of physical and emotional adjustment and intense growth in your little baby. And then there's another period where you're in that adjustment from 3 to 6 months, and then a transition period from 6 to 12. Now, these are just a bit arbitrary, but know that these are ups and downs within these periods. But we know that a full year is needed to heal, and so that 1 6-week visit doesn't even reflect the many, many changes that you're going to experience. So I think it's really important that now that we've kind of set the stage of what we do in our healthcare system for maternal and infant health is now look at the numbers. I am a research person. I've been a nursing student and in nursing since about 2005. And these numbers I have seen over and over and over again. So the United States, our maternal mortality ratio based on other developed countries who have similar birth rates is staggering. This is where we are. This is the amount of maternal deaths that we have per 100,000 births compared to these developed countries. And I think it's important to note that these developed countries have universal health care, preventative health care, and postpartum care, okay? And so maternal mortality is defined as the death of a woman during pregnancy or within 1 year of the end of pregnancy. So that whole period. Look at these numbers. And again, this is over and over and over again. This is from 2017, but believe me, we see these over and over again. I think this is a really important breakdown to look at. And so when we talk about maternal mortality rates, this is 2011 to 2015. Look right here. The postpartum period accounts for 52% of those deaths, spread out over the entire year postpartum. We have a problem. If this is what's happening, then we need to find a solution for this. And that's why we're here. That's why we're talking about this. That's why we have Postpartum University. And it's also incredibly important to understand the discrepancies in maternal mortality based on race. Again, these are not new numbers. We see these over and over and over again. Black women are 3 to 4 times more likely to die in pregnancy and postpartum than white women. I mean, this is staggering. What we're doing is not working. So the article in the CDC from 2019, these were the points that I wanted to pull out so that we are all on the same page. 60% of pregnancy-related deaths are preventable. Wow. Significant racial and ethnic disparities need to be addressed. That is obvious when we look at our numbers. Each pregnancy-related death, they found 4 contributing factors that were identified: community, their healthcare facility, patient and family relationship, patient-provider relationship, and the healthcare system. And they go on to say, innovative delivery models might be further evaluated for the potential to reduce maternal disparities. There's no longer might. We need to find innovative delivery care models to improve outcomes for women and children and society. There's no more might. There's no more, let's see what happens. What we're doing is not moving the needle. And so we need to be innovative. We need to be creative, and we need to use technology in a post-COVID world to improve outcomes. And so let's shift gears a little bit right now. So we've talked about sort of the physical challenges and changes in postpartum period. Let's talk a little bit about the mental, because physical health and mental health are completely tied together. We cannot separate them. We need to put them together because that's the health, again, of the mother, of the pregnant person, of society. And so how does a global pandemic impact the postpartum period? It impacts it exponentially. Every research article, everything we read, all the data we use is pre-COVID-19. And before COVID-19, we knew that postpartum depression was the #1 postpartum complication. #1. And a global pandemic is now a risk factor for postpartum depression. So every single patient, family, mother is at risk for a perinatal mood or anxiety disorder. That's it. So we need to start from there and find solutions. I always like to put the data out there because it really, these are people, right? These numbers are people. 20% of mothers experience a perinatal mood or anxiety disorder. Again, research over and over and over again in a pre-COVID-19 world. 50% of women with a perinatal mood or anxiety disorder had no risk factors. 50% of women did not seek treatment. Crazy. 50% of women had no risk factors yet developed a perinatal mood or anxiety disorder. There was a research study just recently came out of Brigham and Women's where they looked at 1,000 women, and it was a qualitative research study, and found that 36%, 1 in 3, had significant levels of depression post-COVID. That's crazy, right? And we know every number we say in research is always underrepresented of what's really happening out there in the world. It's time for change. I had to put this slide in because it's just really fascinating when you think about it. This came out in it was 2020, just in November, and this is trends in suicidality 1 year before and after birth among commercially insured childbearing individuals in the United States. So just look at the trends, okay? This is suicidal ideation, okay? This is self-harm. And this is 2017. What do you think this is going to look like over here? And this is why we've got to do something. We were already in what is a public health emergency. And so we can no longer sit and wait to see what's going to happen because we know trends. We know the stress of a global pandemic is certainly going to increase all of our numbers. Postpartum care is a public health emergency. We need healthcare systems. We need community workers, employers, insurance companies, our schools, our governments, our med schools, our nursing schools, our community workers to come together to provide innovative community health solutions. There's no just one solution to this problem. It is our society's problem. And we need to come together and we need to learn, we need to be open, we need to educate so we can come together to provide these solutions. And so while postpartum care is a community problem, it's an individual, every individual is so different. No woman needs the same thing. But they need many of the same things. They need community. They might need therapy. They need support. They need rest. They need physical exercise and nutrition. But they need it to be, non-judgmental, inclusive, and where they're empowered to make the decisions that are right for their family. And we as providers are supposed to give them the information and the tools they need and help them and guide them to make the right decisions. And sometimes that is medication, and which is an amazing, powerful tool. And so in a community, we need to create individualized holistic care. And that's how I see it. And so we need to close this gap. We have healthcare providers doing the best they can in a system that is stretching them to their limits. We have healthcare workers trying to fill in the gaps, our therapists, our lactation consultants, our nutritionists who are trying to help fill the gap. We have incredible community resources that are really been pushed very thinly in this post-COVID-19 world. We have screening tools that are very powerful when used correctly. But what about our preventative care? Isn't postpartum care a time for preventative care, where we can support families so that they're prepared for the ups and downs that is the postpartum period, where they have information that is relevant, timely, and at the right time that they're going to need it, and to help them monitor for when they are at risk for a postpartum complication, so that parents can spend more time actually enjoying parenthood, feeling more empowered for better outcomes in that first year postpartum. So that's where we're coming in. Let's fill the gap of preventative care. And so what if we had a place where families could come together, where they received community support, peer support who are going through the same challenges, where they have information and courses to move them along in the period that they are in the postpartum period, and care from healthcare provider that's accessible to them on their phone, evidence-based, where they can be a part of shared decision making for what's right for them. Can you imagine? I mean, just imagine. And so that's where the idea of Postpartum University came out, is to fill that gap. So let's see, we're going to open it up. And so I'm super excited about this platform. I was going to open this on a totally different platform, but this is the one that is going to be incredibly dynamic, where people can come in at any point in the postpartum journey and join Postpartum University. And I've broken things up into 4 stages. So we can come together as a full group. We can come together in these mini groups. It is going to be a very dynamic, very exciting place to be. And it's all accessible within your phone. You don't have to go anywhere. I mean, we need to be accessible for families, and that's where they're at. They're on the run. They're breastfeeding, they're bottle feeding, they're up at night. Let's fill that with positive information that's empowering. And what I love about this platform is that I can have events that are reoccurring, that are weekly, where we come together. And this is the care part, where I, as a healthcare provider, can come and we can decide what topics we're going to talk about and really get into these stages and what patients need throughout the postpartum year. Super exciting. I love it. And I've been teaching for about 10 years in online education. So this is like a gold mine to me, because I know just how to run this. And I am so thrilled about what we can do. And so when you come into Postpartum University, you're going to have access to all Postpartum University courses. And each one of these is its own little platform. We can have discussions within the Postpartum Bootcamp. And birthing bootcamp, and I'm going to have this Postpartum University video vault. So if there's a question that a mom has, I know that 50 other moms have that same question. So I'm going to go in and create videos and informational sort of blurbs and resources for you to have that you can search right here at 3 a.m. when no one's around, or maybe one other mom is around. You'll be able to talk with them, chat with them, and be a part of a community, literally going through the same challenges. I am so excited about this platform, and I think that it could be really revolutionary in how we come together in this period. So I am so excited. And so this is Postpartum University, and it's growing and it's building, and all this content, like this course is not even made yet. But that's what's so fun, is that we can be together as we explore and grow this platform. Yeah, I'm just so excited about it. So let's go back to the presentation. So Postpartum University, you've kind of seen what it's going to look like when you join. All right, let's keep going. So these are my frequently asked questions. So who should come to Postpartum University? New, experienced moms are all welcome. And you can join at any time during your postpartum period. Just know that because we're so new, we're really going to be focusing on that like beginning, before business before baby, and the immediate postpartum is sort of like where we're sort of at, but it's going to grow really quickly. So I'm so excited that you could come and join at any time. You can breastfeed, you can bottle feed. Every mother's choice is celebrated here. We do not shun anyone's choice, but we give you information so you're empowered to make decisions that you feel strong and you feel good about. It is not covered by insurance. However, I'm going to have a form letter in Postpartum University that you can give to either insurance or your human resources department if you are working to get some of the cost reimbursed. We're going to try, and I think that's what's exciting as we come together, is how can we find ways to get this covered? Because I can spew off all the benefits and I will make it for you, and you can bring it right to them, because I want you to be able to do this. Postpartum University is not for emergency care. You still need your obstetrician or certified nurse midwife. I'm not a pediatric nurse practitioner, but I'm able to help you through that postpartum year and guide you, but I cannot replace an OB or a pediatrician. I have prescriptive authority in New Hampshire, Maine, New York, and Arizona. It doesn't mean I can't see you one-on-one and help you decide what it is you need for prescription, but you'd have to go then to your obstetrician or midwife to have the rest of that care. I have a monthly fee where you can cancel anytime, and I've also created a 6-month and a 12-month membership as sort of like a reduced rate. and there's a 14-day money-back guarantee. I'm here because I think this could really change this entire year of your life, and I'm just so excited. I want this to be accessible to you, and so that we can go on this journey together. So what's included in the Postpartum University? So if you become a monthly member, you get 50% off all one-on-one patient visits. The goal is you might never need a one-on-one patient visit, but if you do, I'm here. I have all the HIPAA related platforms to do telehealth. If you sign up for the 12-month membership, I'm going to give a free initial one-on-one visit to any member who pays up front. You're going to have access to all the postpartum midwife courses, any courses that are made, that's yours for that full year. You're going to have access to the postpartum video vault, which is going to grow and grow and grow. You're going to have the closed Postpartum University community, which is just for our members, which is really great because I am on those Facebook groups, and I have to say it is so overwhelming to see thousands and thousands of people in groups. So this is just a different feel where it's focused, and when you come, you just know what you're going to be doing here. You're going to be really supporting others, and we're going to support you. We're going to have Postpartum University resources, which will just be a plethora of resources, COVID-19 restrictions, COVID-19 vaccinations, anything that's coming out. I'm going to create resources for you that you can search again and have the evidence-based information at your fingertips. So you don't have to go and do all the searching and crazy work. I'm going to do it for you. We'll have guest lecturers. So we're going to have weekly live sessions at the Postpartum University, where that's when you're working with a healthcare provider. It most likely will be me, but I'm going to bring on guest lecturers so we can talk about the topics you want to talk about. That's the beauty. You run Postpartum University. I guide you. You are the patients. You are the ones who are going to say, we need, I want to work with an infant therapist or something, and I'll have them come and talk to you about those benefits. That's what's so great. It's one place to come. I'm going to create weekly emails to support you each week because I can give you all this information, all these courses, but you're busy. And so if I have weekly emails, they're going to help guide you. They're going to give you checklists that's going to help you through. We're even closing that gap even more. So just so many amazing things. So let's talk about cost, right? So I put over here the cost to remind you. This is the cost of an epidural. This is the cost of a vaginal delivery, a C-section. I was looking up the cost that you spend for the baby's first year. All these things, right? Well, what do we spend on you? Because we so forget to spend money or to invest in ourselves as moms. And I have a problem with that. I'm not good at it. And so what if you invested in yourself for a year, either monthly or in a 6-month or 12 months, and just think about what you spend and what you're getting out of this experience. If there's anyone on here who is an employer or is an office, I can create bulk codes for Postpartum University or any of my courses. I'm just open and innovative to the ways that we fill the gap. So another option that's going to be coming out soon is a postpartum email only option that will be, really affordable. So it's that email that I was talking about. And I'm going to be building an automated email for an entire year that you'll get on a specific interval to follow you through. And that will be an option within itself later on, if anybody's interested in that. So let's come together. Let's start something that represents the needs of families, where they feel supported, empowered, and cared for. The status quo is not working. It's not. You saw the numbers. The numbers are not changing, but we have the power to be the change right here, right now. We can do this. We can make something that's innovative to improve outcomes. Amazing. So I'm someone who I need a mission statement. When I have a mission, it really grounds me and reminds me why I do what I do. And I'm committed to providing a place for families to find evidence-based, supportive, inclusive information to improve outcomes. I'm committed to expanding the racial and ethnic diversity of the healthcare workforce. We need to expand education on racial injustice and LGBTQ patient rights. And my hope is that this is just another piece of improving outcomes for all people. And I want to see a more diverse healthcare workforce. It's one of the most important parts to improving our outcomes. So if you have questions or concerns, you can email me at my Gmail, you can go to my website, you can follow me on Instagram and Facebook, and just ask questions. I love talking about this stuff. If you can't tell, I would talk about it all day long. I am so passionate about this, and I truly believe that I have the ability to fill this gap with you. I need you to come on the journey with me. The enrollment for the first class starts January 21st. If you have questions, email me, and I just hope for a great 2021. This is the day, this is the year we come together and we create innovative solutions.